If you woke up already tired, before your feet even touched the floor, before the room was fully bright, before one message came in, before one demand was placed on you, before one more person needed something from you, this was written for you. Not for a crowd, not for people who only understand tired as a word, not for someone who can sleep once and feel whole again. This is for the one who has learned how to move while empty, the one who can wash their face, answer a text, make the call, open the door, smile at the right moment, and still feel like something inside is barely standing. This is for the one who has become skilled at hiding the cost. You do not always look tired. That is part of the problem. You have learned how to carry weight without making noise. You have learned how to be present while your soul is somewhere on the floor. You have learned how to say, "I'm fine," with such calmness that people believe you before they even look at you. But you know what it costs to say that sentence. You know what it costs to keep lifting what nobody else can see. Somewhere along the way, tired stopped being something that visited you and became something you started answering to. It became your morning, your posture, your silence, your way of moving through rooms. And because life kept going, you kept going too. Because people still needed you. Because bills still came. Because messages still waited. Because the body still had to stand up even when the soul wanted to stay down. Stay right here. Before we talk about strength, before we talk about healing, before we talk about getting through another day, one word needs to land first. Psalm 121 verse 1 says, "I will lift up mine eyes unto the hills, from whence cometh my help." Read it again, not quickly, not like a verse you already know, not like a line you have heard so many times that it no longer reaches the place where you are hurting. Read it like it was waiting for the exact morning you almost forgot how to look up. Psalm 121 verse 1 says, "I will lift up mine eyes unto the hills, from whence cometh my help." Sit with the first movement. Lift, not run, not prove, not explain, not perform, not pretend you are stronger than you are. Lift. That word tells the truth about where your eyes have been. It assumes they have been low. Low on the schedule, low on the unpaid thing, low on the diagnosis, low on the relationship that changed, low on the child you are worried about, low on the memory you keep replaying, low on the version of your life you thought would exist by now. And the verse does not shame you for that. It does not scold you for looking down. It does not accuse you for being weary. It simply gives your eyes another direction. Because sometimes the first miracle is not that the weight disappears. Sometimes the first miracle is that your eyes move. There is a tiredness that sleep can fix. And there is another kind of tiredness, the kind that lives behind the eyes, the kind that remains after the nap, the kind that follows you into quiet rooms, the kind that makes ordinary tasks feel heavier than they should. That is the tiredness this psalm is speaking to. Not only the body that needs rest, but the soul that forgot help was still near. Here is the lie you may have been carrying. The lie says exhaustion is proof that you are faithful. It says if you are not depleted, you are not doing enough. If you are not stretched thin, you are not serious. If you are not giving until there is almost nothing left, then maybe you are not loving hard enough, working hard enough, believing hard enough, serving hard enough. So you began to wear tired like evidence. You began to treat depletion like a receipt, as if collapsing at the end of the day meant the day counted. But hear this clearly. That is not holiness. That is not covenant. That is not the voice of the shepherd. That is a prison built out of good intentions, brick by brick, one silent sacrifice at a time, one swallowed sentence at a time, one "I'm fine" at a time. The Lord is not asking you to worship Him by disappearing. He is not glorified by you becoming a shell. He is not honored by you mistaking exhaustion for obedience. The shepherd does not break the sheep to prove they belong to him. He restores the soul. And Psalm 121 begins with a movement so small that almost nobody would notice it. The eyes lift. Not the whole life, not the whole situation, not every answer at once, just the eyes. David says, "I will lift up mine eyes unto the hills." But those hills were not gentle in his world. They were not a postcard. They were not soft green comfort in the distance. The hills could hold danger. Bandits hid there. Ambush could come from there. Uncertainty lived there. So when David lifts his eyes to the hills, he is not pretending danger is gone. He is looking past danger toward help. That matters. Because faith is not denial. Faith does not say, "There is no pain here." Faith says, "Pain is here, but it is not the only thing here." Faith does not say, "There is no danger." Faith says, "Danger is real, but God is nearer than what threatens me." Faith does not say, "I am not tired." Faith says, "I am tired, and still, my help cometh." Psalm 121:2 says, "My help cometh from the Lord, which made heaven and earth." Not from your ability to hold everything together. Not from your calendar finally becoming merciful. Not from people finally understanding what you have been carrying. Not from your emotions becoming neat. Not from the perfect morning routine. Not from a stronger version of you who never gets overwhelmed. My help cometh from the Lord, the maker of heaven and earth. That means your help does not begin at the level of your problem. It begins at the level of the one who made the sky above you and the ground beneath you. Your help is not small because your strength feels small. Your help is not delayed because your emotions feel unstable. Your help is not weak because you are weary. Your help comes from the Lord. And this is where tired hearts often struggle. Because you may believe God helps other people. You may believe He helps people who pray better, people who feel more spiritual, people who are more consistent, people who did not let their eyes stay down for so long. But Psalm 121 does not say, "My help cometh from the Lord when I have earned it." It does not say, "My help cometh when I finally become impressive." It does not say, "My help cometh after I stop needing so much help." It says, "My help cometh." Present, certain, already moving. Your help was not created after you became tired. It was not arranged after you started breaking. God did not look at your life and suddenly realize you might need Him. Before the morning you woke up heavy, before the night you could not sleep, before the conversation that wounded you, before the pressure became too much, before your strength began to thin out. He already knew, and He had already positioned mercy, already positioned grace, already positioned strength, already positioned keeping power. Your exhaustion did not surprise Him. Your tears did not embarrass Him. Your silence did not confuse Him. He was not waiting for you to explain it perfectly. He was already present. He was there at 2 a.m. when you stared into the dark and did not know how to pray. He was there in the car when you sat in the driveway for 10 extra minutes because going inside felt harder than anyone would understand. He was there when you reread the message. He was there when you deleted the reply. He was there when you held your breath so nobody would hear you cry. Not arriving later. Already there. Not distant. Present. Not watching coldly. Keeping you. Psalm 121:3 says, "He will not suffer thy foot to be moved. He that keepeth thee will not slumber." He that keepeth thee will not slumber. Sit with that. You may be exhausted, but He is not. You may be drained, but He is not. You may need to close your eyes, but He does not need to close His. The Lord is not asking you to stay awake all night guarding what only He can keep. Some of your exhaustion is not only from what happened. Some of your exhaustion is from trying to be the keeper, trying to keep the family, keep the outcome, keep the peace, keep the image, keep the door from closing, Keep the pain from spreading. Keep everyone from noticing that you are not okay. But the psalm says, He keepeth thee. That means you are not only held when you feel held. You are kept when you feel fragile. Kept when you feel behind. Kept when your prayers are short. Kept when your faith sounds like a whisper. Kept when your body is moving but your heart is tired. He keepeth thee. You are not the keeper. You are the kept. Say that slowly. I am not the keeper. I am the kept.
Again, I am not the keeper. I am the kept. That does not mean you have no responsibilities. It means responsibility was never supposed to become lord over you. It means care was never supposed to become control. It means love was never supposed to become self-destruction. You can obey God without becoming empty of yourself. You can serve without surrendering your soul to pressure. You can be faithful without bowing to exhaustion as your master. Here is another lie that may have been sitting beneath the first one. It says asking for help means you failed. It says needing help means you were not strong enough. It says lifting your eyes means admitting you could not manage. And maybe managing became your identity, the one who manages, the one who figures it out, the one who absorbs the pressure, the one who does not make it difficult for anyone else. So you stopped lifting your eyes. Not because you stopped believing in God, but because lifting your eyes felt like admitting you needed Him more than you wanted anyone to know. But look at the verse again. David does not whisper help like a shameful thing. He does not hide it. He does not apologize for it. He says it plainly. From whence cometh my help? Not maybe. Not if I deserve it. Not if I can hold myself together long enough. My help cometh. The hills were never a last resort. Help was never plan B. Dependence was never failure. Dependence was always the design. Here is the question under all of this. Not, are you tired? You already know the answer. The deeper question is this. When did you stop expecting to be lifted? Not barely supported, not barely surviving, not just helped enough to make it through another day. Lifted. When did you quietly lower your expectation from restoration to survival? When did I will lift up mine eyes become I will just get through today? Maybe it happened slowly. Maybe there was no single moment. Maybe it was one hard season after another, one disappointment after another, one prayer that seemed unanswered, one door that did not open, one person who did not stay, one responsibility that kept getting heavier. And little by little, you stopped looking up with expectation. You still moved, you still worked, you still prayed sometimes, you still showed up, but something inside you stopped expecting to be lifted. And the Lord is not condemning you for that. He is calling you back from it, not with a harsh voice, not with shame, but with one holy invitation. Lift your eyes. Just up. Just enough to remember that the floor is not your future. Just enough to remember that the ceiling is not the sky. Just enough to remember that help is still real. Who taught you that needing help meant losing? Was it someone who never admitted weakness? Was it a season where asking changed nothing, so you decided never to ask again? Was it a voice that made weariness sound noble? Was it a room where your pain was minimized? Was it a church culture that praised burning out but called it sacrifice? Whoever taught you that needing help meant losing, they were wrong. Maybe not intentionally. Maybe they were tired too. Maybe they only repeated what they had been taught, but they were wrong. Because Scripture does not call help shameful. Scripture calls the Lord your help. And if the Lord Himself is your help, then needing help cannot be disgrace. It is the doorway back to truth. Psalm 121 verse 4 says, Behold, he that keepeth Israel shall neither slumber nor sleep. Neither slumber nor sleep. That means you are allowed to rest because He does not stop keeping. You are allowed to breathe because He does not loosen His hand. You are allowed to be human because He remains God. You were never commanded to be endless. You were never created to be the source.
You were never asked to become the answer to every need around you. You are dust, beloved. Breath-filled dust, held dust, redeemed dust, kept dust. And the keeper knows how to hold what dust cannot carry. Some of you have been afraid that if you stop, everything will fall apart. But what if everything is not being held together by your panic? What if the Lord has been more involved than your fear allowed you to see? What if the thing you called control was actually exhaustion wearing a crown? What if lifting your eyes is the first act of dethroning fear? Not because everything changes instantly, but because you stop bowing your whole inner life to what is beneath you.
The floor is not your altar. Exhaustion is not your name. Survival is not your inheritance. You belong to the God who keeps, the God who sees, the God who neither slumbers nor sleeps, the God who was present before you asked, the God who made heaven and earth and still bends near to the tired heart. So no, you do not have to lift your eyes all the way to the sky right now. You do not have to understand the whole plan. You do not have to feel strong. You do not have to explain why this season has been so heavy. Just lift them a little. Above the phone, above the floor, above the fear, above the thought that says, "This is just who I am now." Lift them toward the hills, toward the place where help is already moving, toward the Lord who has not abandoned the tired version of you. Say this with me, out loud if you can, under your breath if that is all you have today. I will lift up mine eyes, not because I feel strong, not because the weight is small, not because I have every answer. I will lift up mine eyes because my help cometh from the Lord. I break agreement with the floor. I break agreement with the version of me that stopped expecting to be lifted. I break agreement with exhaustion as my identity. I break agreement with the lie that says depletion is devotion. I break agreement with the voice that said needing help meant losing. I break agreement with fear wearing the language of responsibility. I break agreement with control disguised as care. I break agreement with the belief that everything depends on my strength. My help does not come from my ability to keep going. My help does not come from my performance. My help does not come from finally becoming enough. My help cometh from the Lord, which made heaven and earth. He is my keeper. He does not slumber. He does not sleep. He is not late. He is not distant. He is not waiting for me to collapse before he cares. He is present now, in this room, in this morning, in this tired body, in this quiet place. The same God who positioned help before David needed it has positioned help before I even knew how to ask. I am not waiting on rescue as though heaven has forgotten me. I am walking into the help that was already prepared. My eyes are no longer surrendered to the ground. My hope is no longer buried under the weight of today. My soul remembers where to look. In the name of Jesus, my eyes are lifted. My help is certain. My keeper is awake. My soul is not abandoned, sealed, spoken, standing. Today, tomorrow, and every tired morning after this one. Before you lift your phone, lift your eyes. Before you answer the world, remember your help. Before you call yourself tired again, call yourself kept.